Hello guys, and welcome to a new video posted on my channel. Today I'm very excited to do this video. We are gonna be finally doing a brand new tier list after a long time of not doing one. I think the last one we did was when I ranked the BMGC Season 2 players. But now we're doing a new one, and we are going to be ranking all the way from S tier to F tier all of the games, maps, and coming soon games in Mikigame, which is Mike's minigame server on Legacy. So, if you haven't been on Mikigame, basically it's been very popular. I've been on it a lot, and it's really good fun. I'm playing it a bit less these days because Mike's obviously busy and stuff, but we mainly get to play it on weekends, and it's a very, very fun server on Legacy where you get lots of mini games. Yeah, it's actually funny enough. As of right now, there's exactly 50 mini games, but there will be games coming soon, and there's also maps for games. And we're going to be ranking all of it today in this tier list. So, before we get started, make sure you guys subscribe to my channel, like this video, and also hit the bell to get notified whenever a new video stream is announced. That's if you want to do all that. So yeah. Also, if you don't know some of these games, and if you haven't been on Mikigame or Legacy, then check out. I did a stream a couple of weeks ago where I streamed on Mikigame for the 2024 reveal of the new lobby, and we played some games in that. And then you could also just go on Mikigame if you have Legacy. Just make sure you're on Mike's friend list and join whenever he's hosting. So yeah, let's not waste any more time and let's get started. So let's start by ranking the first game, which is Sumo. So this is basically sumo but with bows, so you get punched 2 bows. I think you play it on the Mike 21 logo, which is like a big flat area. And yeah, this game is, I like this game because I prefer it to regular sumo, but only slightly. And what's good about this game is that you really have to like aim well to hit your opponents off the edge. So yeah, I think this game is pretty good. So I'm actually going to give this a B. So there we go. There is Sumo in B. Next is Battle of Mikigame. So this one is like a very specific game because it is PvP on Mike's logo again, back on Mike's logo. And then you get a set of special like items and armor that are like in the Mikavian colours, like I think red, yellow, blue, and white, or something like that. And then yeah, you fight on his logo. So that, but it's very specific and it's not really played much. So I'm actually going to give that a C tier ranking. There we go. Battle of Mikigame. Next, Thunderdome. So this is one of the first few games made by me, because I made, other than Mike making the most games, the person who made the second most games is me, because I'm the admin of the server basically, and I've just made a lot of games. And this is one of the ones I made. This isn't the first one, but it is one of them, and it is Thunderdome. So, if you might have seen Thunderdome on Game Station, which was my minigame world that I had a long time ago. And this was, I think this is a really good game. We actually changed it a bit, where instead of you picking from a chest, you just take from a dispenser that gives you a random item, and then you use that to help you win in the fight. That's basically how Thunderdome works, but you keep the health from your previous fight. So yeah, that's how that game works, and I think that's actually really fun. But we do hardly get to play it, which kind of sucks. But it's still very good. So I'm actually going to give that an A tier. I think that's a very good game. So yeah. Next is Five Nights at Freddy's 1. So, recently I did make both FNAF 1 and 2 into Mikigame. So the way it works is, it's the FNAF 1/2 map, but you have to find 3 keys, and then you have to use those 3 keys to exit the restaurant, and then you're free, and then you win. But whilst you do all that, one of the animatronics from either FNAF 1 or 2 is roaming around and will kill you kill you and chase you if they see you. So that's basically how it works. But since it got introduced into Mikigame, which was around the time, which was pretty much when 2024 Mikigame got revealed, it's been very popular. It's been voted a lot, so I'm very happy about that. And I do think it is a very good game. So I'm going to put Five Nights at Freddy's 1 in A tier, because Yeah, so I think the FNAF 1 map, also I will say, both FNAF 1 and 2, their maps are both from tutorials because I just wanted to be quick with it, but it's fine, doesn't really matter anyway. Yeah, I think that both FNAF 1 map and 2 are good, but I think the FNAF 2 map is actually a lot better, so I'm actually going to be putting FNAF 2 in the S tier. Because although the FNAF 1 map is very good, I think the FNAF 2 is just a lot better, so I'm going to put FNAF 2 in S tier. That's our first S tier gone to FNAF 2. Next we've got TNT Dodge. This is quite a new game. All these ones coming up are quite new on the rest of this row except from Speed Parkour. So TNT Dodge is... I really like this game. So if you don't know what this is, you got a bedrock ring and Mike will place TNT on the bedrock ring in invisible, but below it are redstone torches, so you have to avoid the TNT when it goes off. And I think this is a very good game, especially when it gets faster and faster and more TNTs being placed. It's very, very cool. And yeah, I think this is a very cool game, so I'm actually going to put TNT Dodge in the B tier. Very good game. Very fun game. Next is Anvil Drop. So yeah, this is another new game that I built, made from Game Station, and I think this game is interesting. I think it's okay. I think it's not too bad, but nothing too special. So I'm gonna put Anvil Drop in the C tier. Anvil Drop. There you go. Next up, we have these next two games, Campaign and Battle of the Sky. Battle of the Sky, as of when I'm recording this was actually built yesterday by me, and Campaign was only built, I think it was finished either yesterday or the day before. But both of these games haven't actually been played at all yet in Mikigame. But I'm still going to rank them. So the way Campaign works is you got four sides, four boxes, as you can see here, and with these four spaces, the red, blue, green and yellow, they each have I think it's 5 minutes to build around their space in the beacon, so they have to cover it up, and then when the 5 minutes is up, the other team can go to each other's sides and try to break the blocks around the beacon, and then they have to break the beacon, and then there's another 5 or 10 minutes, and then at the end of that time the teams without their beacon on lose. So that's how that works. I think that's how it works. And although we haven't played it yet, I think this is a good game, but it's nothing too great, especially with the fact that even though you got the whole 10 or 5 minutes whilst the teams are fighting, it only matters at the end. So that it's like there's games like that, especially on Fall Guys with the the ones we got that get the eggs. Games like that really don't matter until the end of the game. So that's why I'm going to put Campaign in C. But because it's a new game, it could be higher or it could be lower. We don't know yet because it hasn't actually been played yet. But for now, I'm going to put Campaign in the C tier. Battle of the Sky. I think this one is interesting. So here's what Battle of the Sky looks like. So you may or may not realise that it's pretty much the exact same as the Game Station game where it's red, blue, yellow and purple. The Sky fight. It's like the Sky Wars game where you have to go to each other's sides and kill the other teams. And I think this was a very good game in Game Station. So we'll see how it plays out in Mikigame. But because of a few things like resetting the game, and there might be a couple rule breakers because there is an elytra in there at the very top of the map where people can get to, as well as all the other special loot around the map. Although I think all of that makes it a really good game, just a couple things like the elytra and resetting the game can be a bit annoying. So again, just like Campaign, I'm going to put Battle of the Sky in C tier because I don't really know yet how it's going to play out properly. But we will see. We will see. Next is Speed Parkour. So this is a really good. I think this is a really good game in Mikigame. It's another one of those games which is chosen quite a lot. Although the past couple of weeks it hasn't been chosen a lot, but before 2024 it was actually really popular, and it makes sense because it's literally parkour race, but it's a new parkour track is made in between rounds, and the person who doesn't complete the parkour race before everyone else has to wait until everyone else is done, and I think that's a very good way of doing it. So I'm actually going to put Speed Parkour in A tier. I think it's very good. Maybe there is a way we can improve speed parkour in a way, but I'm not very sure. But anyway, that is the first row done, the first 10 games done. So now let's go on to rank the 11th game, which is piggy catching. So with piggy catching, it's really one of the it's one of the games that's very rarely voted, and it makes sense because out of all the games we've talked about so far, I think this is the worst. And I think it's kind of cool how you basically, if you don't know how it works, there's 4 teams and they have fishing rods, and pigs are spawned in, and they have to fish their pigs into their hole on their side. And I think it's okay, but I just think it can be a bit laggy, and I don't think it's I don't think it's too fun. So I'm going to put piggy catching in the D tier. It's not too bad. I just think it's below average when it comes to the games in Mikigame. Okay, next is Clouds. Another game that's made by me. And although the game itself I find is okay, there's a major problem with this game, which is lag. So Clouds is one of the games where people die the most, and the more times people die in Mikigame, or especially when it's multiple players at once dying, it creates a lot of lag. What the lag does is it affects the player's damage. So when you fall, it sometimes doesn't get you damaged, and if you fall multiple times at once on different blocks, you'll just get damaged over and over again, like instantly. It's hard to explain, but basically the lag is a major problem for Clouds. I think Clouds might be the laggiest game in Mikigame. So although the game itself is like a fine game, the lag is a major issue. So that's why I'm actually going to be putting Clouds in the E tier. So yeah, sorry Clouds. Also, Clouds was previously known as Cloud Down in Game Station. Next is a Dropper, another game made by me. So it's not an actual dropper map that you fall like from the top to the bottom of the world till you get to the bottom. It's a bit different. It's the one the troller made up, where you got a big box and the holes are put in the bottom, leading to the water where you can jump through. Each time it gets harder and harder, so the holes get smaller and smaller, so it's harder to go into the holes. And I think it's a pretty good game. However, I don't think it's like very good. I think it's fine, like a mid game. So I'm gonna be putting Dropper in the C tier. So yeah, I don't think it's too special. Next is Hide and Seek. So a classic Minecraft minigame, but I've always thought Hide and Seek isn't a very good game in general. I think it can be a bit boring, but at the same time it is a classic Minecraft game, so I'm just going to put Hide and Seek in the C tier. And there with the maps of Mikigame that we'll talk about later. I'd say some of the maps are pretty good, but some of the maps aren't very good when it comes to Hide and Seek. Build Battle is next, and this is quite a new game as well on Mikigame as well. We've only played this a few times, and it's very specific with how it works. So you get 10 minutes to build, but you're building in survival with a set. You've got a set shulker box of a specific type of blocks, whether that's wooden blocks or nether blocks or stone blocks or so on, and you have to build something specific. But you also get another shulker box of like regular items like grass, stone, and stuff like that. And the way it works, I think it's pretty good, but I just think it can be a bit better. But I really love how it's a build battle in survival. I think that's really cool, and then you can vote and then another bit of a problem, but it's also a pretty good way of playing, is you can vote each other's maps from Mare to Love, just like Build Battle in the Hive. And I think there have been a couple instances where when I've played Build Battle, some people have voted unfairly, and that's been a bit of a problem, so that's kind of sucks. But other than that, I think it's a very, very good Mikigame, so I'm going to be putting Build Battle in A tier. Very, very good. I'd probably give it a high A, so probably better than Speed Parkour and FNAF 1, but just not enough to be S tier, I would say. Next is Parkour, so this is just the regular parkour race, and I think Speed Parkour is better, but only slightly better. So because Speed Parkour got an A, I'm going to be putting regular parkour in B. Next is Boat Race. So I really love Boat Race. Boat Race is one of the best games in Mikigame. I really love the track, and yeah, I just really love Boat Race. So Boat Race is going in S, and I think lots of people can agree with me. The Boat Race is probably an S or A tier at least. I think it is a very good game. But anyway, yeah, moving on to Target Shot. I don't really like Target Shot, and especially the trophy for it, where you have to get every single button exactly and only 3. Because this trophy is one of the, if not the hardest trophies to get in Mikigame. But the game itself is also, I think, not very good. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really like this game. So I actually am going to be putting Target Shot in the C tier. I'm sorry, Mike. I know that this is one of your games, but I'm sorry. Did I put Target Race? My bad. Target Shot. What is going on? No, not Shoy. Anyway, Target Shot. Alright, moving on. To TNT Run, a classic Minecraft minigame again. I think this is good. There's hardly any problems when it comes to it being in Legacy and with the lag, but at the same time, it's not a very good game. It's a good game, but I don't know. Maybe I do underestimate her a bit. But I think it's on the A tier for TNT Run, but I think it's a low A, I'd say. Like, I think originally when I was ranking these, giving them each a tier, I originally put TNT Run in B, but I decided to put it in A. But yeah, I think it is a low A, but still a good Mickey game. TNT, so this is split with TNT and the the flame arrows. I think this is a pretty good game. I think it's quite smart as well, but I don't think it's too special because I think it is quite easy to survive, and also the trophy for TNT where you have to win without shooting at all can be very hard. So I'm going to put TNT in the C tier. TNT, there we go. And there we go, that is the next 20 done. So now let's go on to the 21st, which is Hurdles. So this was originally made by Steven, but he didn't actually build a Mikigame, I built it. Actually it was me or Mike, I'm not sure. I think it was both of us. But anyway, Hurdles I think it's a really good game, but the map itself and the way it's played, it's nothing too special. So I'm actually going to give it on the C, but I'd say it's a high C. I think it's nearly B, just not enough to be a B tier, but it's high on the C tier, I would say. Next is Tree Party. So everything about this game, in my opinion, is bad. So the design of the map is very bad. It's just a flat surface with one jungle tree, maybe 2 jungle trees on top of each other, but actually that's worse. And the point of the game is just to climb the tree to get to the top when you have knockback items. And I just think it's not a good game at all. I think it could be built in a few minutes, and it could be improved a lot. This game really could be improved a lot with multiple trees and better design and better items, and that will probably give it like a C tier game. But as of right now, I honestly think Tree Party is an F tier game. Everything about it just isn't very good. So I'm sorry, Mike, but I don't like Tree Party. Next is Rage Parkour. So this was a quite inventive game that Mike made, and I think it's pretty good. So pretty much, it's parkour, but it's not just parkour. It's kind of like a puzzle parkour thingy. But if you have no regeneration, no natural regeneration, but you have infinite lives, and it's first person to the end. So there's lava in there, there's like cactus, and there's stuff like that. So pretty much if you get hit by the lava once, you're going to die. But I think this game is pretty good, but with it obviously being a rage game and being a bit annoying, I'm going to put it in the D tier. But I actually think it's quite a high D. So nearly C tier, but just not there enough. So I'm going to put it in a high D. Next is Stand First. So this is one of the most inventive games in Mikigame, I would say, because me and Mike were actually talking yesterday, and he said that he's never seen this game anywhere else in Mikigame before. If you don't know what this is, by the way, it's basically there's each person has an armor stand and a fishing rod, and they have to hook their armor stand to the end of the track as fast as they can. But what's very good about this game is that if you get too close, that then you accidentally put the fishing rod in the armor stand's hand, which I find quite funny. So, but at the same time, you can't be too far away because you won't reach the armor stand. So you have to be at a very specific spot, like a distance, like this very specific distance away from the armor stand. So I actually think this is a very good game. I think it's very good, but I don't think because it's just you spamming a button. I don't think it's like very good. So I'm gonna put it in B tier, but I think it's a high B. So just not enough to be A tier, but I do think it's a very good B. Next up is Guess the Flag. Okay. Next up is Block Curling. So this is another game made by Mike. And this is quite a new game made by Mike, and it's a quite inventive game. It's very like specific with its rules and stuff. But I'm very sorry, Mike, but I just don't like this game, and I feel bad because it was a game that he thought of himself, that he planned and stuff. But I just don't like it because basically, if you don't know how it works, you throw an object over an ice surface, and it's just to see how far it can get. But there's there's a wheel thing where you get another way of throwing it and stuff. If you don't know how it works, go on Mikigame and see how it works. But I'm sorry, I don't really like it. But anyway, Mike, I was only joking about Guess the Flag. Let's actually talk about that properly now. So with Guess the Flag, it is another game that's voted quite a lot in Mikigame. That's just because lots of people in the community love flags and stuff. But for me, I don't really like it, so I'm going to put it in D tier. Although I guess lots of people would put it a lot higher in their list, but for me it's D tier. But you got to remember, guys, this is my ranking. Next is Naval Battle. So this is the one where you're in boats. So it's PvP in boats basically. So I think this game is okay, but because of it being PvP in boats, I don't think it's very good. But at the same time, I don't think it's bad. I think it's quite mid. So I'm going to put Naval Battle in the C tier. Naval Battle, there we go. Next up is Color Party. So this is one of the first games introduced in Mikigame, I'm pretty sure. And I think this game is I think it's pretty good. Although the fact why I am putting it in the C tier is because it's one of the, if not the most luck-based game on Mikigame. So obviously, because you choose one of the 4 colours, and then if your colour is chosen by firework, then you're out. So obviously, very luck-based game. So that's why it's in C tier and not any higher. Find the Treasure. I think this game's pretty good. So you have to go around an area, one of the maps, to look for the treasure, which is a X marks the spot golden ingot in a barrel. I think this game is really good. How you have to go around to find it. I think it is better than hide and seek, although both games are pretty much the same, except in one game you're looking for people or hiding, and then the other game you're looking for the treasure. So I think Find the Treasure is actually better than hide and seek. So that's why I'm going to be putting Find the Treasure in the B tier. Yeah, I think Find the Treasure was a very good game, and I like how it was changed with the way it was played as well, because originally it was a lot different to how it is now. And the 30th game that we're going to be talking about is another quite new game made by LukeBob195, is Death Run. So I think it was really cool how Luke was able to put Death Run into Mikigame. And I've seen, because I've known LukeBob195 for a very long time, for multiple years. I mean, since the year Battle Minigame came out in 2016. So, God, 8 years now I've known Luke, nearly, probably 7.5 actually, probably 7 years. Um, and he's made lots of death runs before, so yeah, so I've known that he can make stuff like this, really good redstone builds. And the death run in Mikigame, um, obviously it's very, very cool how he can make death run in Mikigame, but I'm gonna put it in B tier. So although obviously it's better than average, but the reason why it's not higher is because the specific traps in the death run are good, but I think we can get some better ones. I think the death run itself can either be longer or we do other ones, and also the design in the current death run isn't too special with what it is. It's very simple. So I think we can improve death run a lot to actually make it an A, maybe even an S tier game. So that's why I think death run for now is only going to be in B tier, but I really think it can be a lot higher if it's improved upon. Next up is the maze. I've never really liked maze games, and specifically this one in Mikigame. I think the design isn't too special, but I do like how every time it's played, the course changes. I do really like that. But that isn't enough to give it a average score. So I think I'm going to be putting maze in the D tier. Next is Pac-Man. So this was originally in Game Station, but then Mike made it into Mikigame. But apparently Mike, just by coincidence, he didn't actually take influence from Game Station. But it was pretty cool how he made it into Mikigame anyway. And the way it works in Mikigame, I think it's pretty cool. But I don't think it's very good. But at the same time, I don't think it's bad. I do think it's quite a mid game, so I'm going to be putting Pac-Man in the C tier. Also, the way it's set up and stuff isn't very good, and not that it's not very good. It's just it's hard and stuff. Next is, I believe, actually I think this wasn't the first game I built in Mikigame. I think it was the second because the first one was a lot easier. But this was definitely the first one I planned, and it is Hello Neighbor, which is my 9th Hello Neighbor map on Legacy. So this is going to be interesting to rank because this is the most complicated game on Mikigame. It's the biggest game on Mikigame and probably the longest game on Mikigame. But I think it's very, very fun, I'd say. I mean, obviously for me because I love Minecraft Hello Neighbor, but I do think it is fun for other people because other people have played it and they've said they like it and stuff, and it seems like they've enjoyed playing it. There is a couple problems with setting it up, how we have to leave the world and go back on it, kind of like Death Run. But also all of the rules that people have to remember is a big problem for Hello Neighbor. So I'm going to be putting Hello Neighbor in the B tier. I think it is better than average, especially because I think it is also the Mickey game that took the longest to make. I think it is, yeah. But I do think it doesn't deserve to be mid or below average. I think it does deserve to be in B tier, but I don't think it deserves to be any higher because of the rules and stuff like that. Next is boss fight. With boss fight, it's pretty much you either fight the Ender Dragon or you fight the Wither or you fight a custom boss that I think Mike is like beside him, where you get a trident in the rain or something like that. And I don't think it's a game in Mikigame that is hardly ever chosen. This is one of the, if not, actually, no, I think this might be the second least voted game in Mikigame. And I'll talk about what I think the least voted game in Mikigame is in terms of like least chosen to be played. But boss fight, I think it's not very good because you can just do it in survival to fight the Ender Dragon or the Wither, and I think it can be a bit boring. But at the same time, it can be pretty fun to fight the bosses with people around you. So I'm going to be putting boss fight in the D tier. So yeah, I think it is below average. Next up is, where are we? Boss fight. Connect 4. I think this was the first game I introduced in Mikigame, because I built this before finishing Hello Neighbor. I think I was like midway through, because I was thinking like, oh, I can just quickly build Connect 4 into Mikigame, so I did, and it's one again kind of like Speed Parkour. This year it hasn't really been voted a lot, but in 2023 it actually was voted a few times, which I think was kind of cool. And I think it's a pretty cool game. It's a really good team game where you have to help your teammates decide where to place your blocks, because so you can like point to where you want to go. And luckily with Connect 4, it hasn't actually gone to the very end. It's actually been like a good 4 in a row. It's a good point in the game, which I think is very good. And I actually think Connect 4 is a very good game, so I'm going to be putting it in the B tier. Alright, next up is Dodgeball. So, let's talk about probably my favourite game in Mikigame, the only game made by Steven as of right now. So, Dodgeball I think is very good. The way how it's a bow fight, but you only get one arrow at a time, and you have to dodge and shoot your players. I think it's very, very good. I just love Dodgeball in Mikigame so much. I think it's such a good game. I think, yeah, looking at these two, I think it is better than both FNAF 2 and Boat Race. I think Dodgeball, in my opinion, is the best game in Mikigame. And again, it's again one of those games that's hardly ever been voted this year, but it was voted a few times in 2023. So I really hope it is voted more these days. I think it's a very, very good game. Very good. Next up is All on Mike the Archer. So just like Battle of the Mikigame, it's a very specific game where everybody has bows and they have to shoot Mike. So I think it's quite specific and generic, so I'm gonna put it in the C tier. I don't think it's below or above average, really. Okay, next up is Murder Mystery. Okay, so Murder Mystery in the Hive I think is very, very good, but when it comes to Mikigame, the way it's set up I think is okay. I don't think it's too good, but not awful. It's annoying how obviously you can see who the murderer is when they kill someone, and the way the sheriff system works kind of sucks, because obviously the murderer is going to pick up the sheriff hat and the sheriff bow when they kill them. But I don't think it's too bad, so I'll put Murder Mystery in D. But I just think it's just not too special. Oh, whoops. And just because I accidentally broke the sign, because silly me, I'm going to put it twice. Alright, next up is PvE. So, earlier when I said I thought, what was it? Boss fight. I think boss fight is the second least voted game. I think PvE, I've never seen PvE voted, which is basically it's players versus entities, so like mobs. I've never seen this game be voted. So that's why it is going in. I said that so weirdly. That's why I'm putting it in the E tier. And the other reason I'm putting it in the E tier is because you can do it in your own world. You can do it in regular survival, and I think it's really boring just to fight mobs. So that's why I'm putting PvE in the E tier. PvE tier. But yeah, I actually originally planned to put it in the D tier, but for those reasons, for it being the least voted game on Mikigame, I decided to put it in E tier. Anyway, the final game on this row, which is Boat Race Relay. So I thought of this game a bit after Boat Race got introduced, where instead of just regular boat race, it's a relay race. That means that it's teams of two, and when one person on their team finishes a lap, the other person then goes and does their lap. And I think this is a great way of playing boat race, where you're waiting at the end for your teammate to finish to see either if it's then your go to go and do your lap, or if you've already done your go to see which of your to see if your teammate is coming to the end so you can finish. And I just think this is a great way of playing. I just love that way of waiting for your teammate to come and then it's your go. So just like Boat Race, I'm putting it in S tier. Do I think it's better than regular Boat Race? That's the question. Okay, I'm gonna say no, only because it'll be harder to set up. Because it'll be easier to set up Boat Race because it's just solo players. So, but Boat Race Relay, I'd say it's an equal amount of fun. But Boat Race is easier to set up, so it's better. But Boat Race Relay is still very good in my opinion. Alright, let's go on to the final row, starting off with the bridge. So, another game that I made. So, the bridge in Bedrock in Hive, me and Mike have played a lot. We actually haven't played it for a while, which is good because we did rinse the hell out of that game. And we're both max levels on that now. And I decided to build it in Mikigame because I thought maybe that would be kind of cool. We've played it a couple times, and I think 2 or 3 times, and all the times I've played it, it's been a bit janky. It's been a bit whack, and it hasn't really played well, and it's hard to reset and stuff. So I'm gonna put Bridge in the C tier, but a low C, nearly D tier. But I'm not gonna put it in D tier because even though it can be a bit hard to play and stuff, I still think it is a fun game. So that's the reason why I'm not putting it in D tier, because I think it is still a fun game to play. Sonic PvP kit. So now we're talking about the games that Sonic made. And by the way, there was a 4th game that Sonic made called Team Attack, but I had no idea how to play it. And I asked him... Wait, no, oh no, I didn't. I forgot to ask him. Oh, it's fine, whatever. Team Attack's not in here. Anyway, Sonic PvP kit. Out of his 3 games, this is easily the best one. However, the map itself, the design is good, but the gameplay of it is a bit weird, how there's walls around the edge and the bottom and stuff, and the kit itself is fine, but nothing too special. So I'm going to put Sonic PvP kit in the D tier. So yeah, I think it's okay, just nothing too special really, and it's not too good. Titanic War. Titanic War gets the trophy for being the worst game in Mikigame. So don't worry, Mike, Tree Party is better, but Titanic War is awful. How you're just in a massive... It's not too big, like a big blue box, all covered in water, where there's a little awfully built Titanic submarine. Oh, what was Sonic thinking? And then there's only like 2 water pockets where you have to go in, but everyone's there trying to get air. And it's just a very awful game. Next up is Bathroom Fight. Another bad game, I'd say, even though this is, for some reason, a game that's voted a lot. But the map is okay, and the kits they're pretty bad, but it's better than average. Not... Bathroom Fight's going elite. I don't think it's bad enough to be an F tier because of the kits and the map, but it's still a low E, nearly D tier. Next is Sumo. So this is another game that's voted a few times. I think it's pretty good, and I'm actually going to put it in B tier. I would have maybe put it higher, but I think sometimes when you're playing, it can be a bit unfair because they're not back on Legacy. I think is a bit random, and obviously not back is what's important when it comes to Sumo. So that's why I'm putting it in B tier and not any higher. But it is still a fun game, so that's why I'm putting it in B and not any lower. Bullfight, just a generic game. It's basically PvP just with bows, and the map for it isn't too good, so I'm just going to be putting Bullfight in the C tier. Oh. Okay, Bullfight. There you go. Next up is probably the most voted game in Mikigame, which is Free for All. So I think this map depends on what map is chosen with how good it is, but because there are some maps which are really good and some which are bad. But because of that, and just because it's just Free for All, but it is the most voted game, and then some of the maps for it are pretty good. So I will put Free for All in B tier, but for me, it is a low B, so it's nearly C tier, but I think it's fine. I think it's worthy of being in B tier. Next up is Meme War. So Meme War is pretty good. I like how obviously it's based on memes from BMPT and our history and stuff. So it's got like it's got Boogie with the Booger, La Bubba, Cappuccino Time and a few others anyway. Some of the kits in it are good, some of them are meh, like outdated memes. But it's an okay game, but I think one of the biggest problems with this game is that some of the memes, if not all of them, new players of Mikigame wouldn't get any of them, so though I'm going to put Meme War in the C tier. And next up is Mob War. So I think this is a better version of Meme War, because obviously the kits are from mobs, like creepers, skeletons, spiders, switches, etc. And I think this is pretty much Meme War, just literally better. It is a bit bad how when there's a creeper kit in there, when you have TNT, you have to play the game in the bedrock box, which is the worst map in my opinion, but I'll talk about that in a bit. But I do think Mob War is better than Meme War, so I'm actually going to put Mob War in the B tier. And finally, the final game in the Mikigame, Nemo Slap. It's pretty much sumo, but it's with a bigger space, and you're hitting each other off with a Nemo. But I think it's pretty good, so I'm going to be putting Nemo Slap in the C tier. But even though it's pretty good, it's not too special, but not too bad. So there we go. Those are all of the games in Mikigame Ranked. So there's we got four S's, 5 A's, we got lots of B's, mostly C's, a few D's, some E's, and then only 2 F's. But now let's rank the maps. So there are 9 maps in Mikigame, and there is a map vote when either hide and seek, free for all, Mob War without the creeper kit, Meme War, Murder Mystery, and a few other games. We choose a map for those games, and there are already 9 maps as of right now. So let's rank the maps. So the 2023 lobby, the previous lobby. I think this map is okay. It is cool how we can see the old lobby, and I think it's a pretty good map. It's a ring at the middle, and how there's different areas all around. So I'm actually going to put the 2023 lobby in the B tier. Next is the FNAF 1 and 2 maps. So both FNAF 1 and 2 can be used as maps. So yeah, I'll just put FNAF 1 in B and FNAF 2 in because FNAF 2 is a better map, I'll put that in A. And the reason why for the games it's not in S and A, but instead it's in A and B, is because obviously the gameplay part of the FNAF is taken out of it. Next up is Castle. So this is one that I made. I don't think it's too good, but I don't think it's like too bad either. So I'll put it in C. I think it's like very, very mid, but maybe slightly below average. Next up is Biomes. This is probably the best map to vote for when it comes to the maps, and it is the most voted for map as well. And I'll put Biomes in here in A. I think it is a better map for free for all and hide and seek and stuff than FNAF 2, but only slightly, I'd say. Next is Bedrock Box. So yeah, this is very boring design. It's just a box. So I'm going to be putting Bedrock Box in F tier. It is necessary for the creeper kit when it comes to Mob War, but even though it's necessary doesn't mean it's good. I do think Bedrock Box is just a very, 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 very bad map, and I really think we should be making a brand new Bedrock PvP map that isn't just a box. I think it can be a lot better. And I do think we are definitely capable of doing that, me and Mike. Next up is the maze. So it's the same it's the same map as the actual maze game, but it's also used for games like this. But I don't think it's very good in my opinion because of the design and the way it's set up. So I will be putting the maze in the D tier for maps. Next is the island. This is I think this might be the newest. Actually, well, taking out the FNAF 1 and 2 maps, it is the newest map, and I think it is really cool. Like, funny story, we were playing on Mikigame one day, and then the next day we also played on it, and then suddenly there was this massive island map. That was a Mikigame because Mike had built it all overnight and then in the morning. But yeah, I think it's pretty good. I don't think it's as good as Biomes though, so I'm gonna put it in the B tier, but it's probably a high B. Mainly because of all the water and because of the mountain design. It's more for looks than it is for gameplay. And finally, for maps, let's talk about the Mikigame21 logo. And although the logo itself is very, very big and it looks very good, I'm going to put it in the C tier because it's like quite generic and it's just a big flat space. Alright, there you go. That's all of the maps done talking about now. So now, let's talk about probably the most interesting part of this video, which is the upcoming game. So, these are all the games that are coming soon. And I'm going to be ranking them in the in the tier list based on how well I think they're going to be. So, let's start with FNAF 3/4. So the reason why it's 3/4 is because both the FNAF 3 and the 4 map from the tutorials that I'm going to be making it off, they are both small, and they're not big enough to be their own maps. So I'm going to combine them into one. So with this reason, it's one of the reasons why I don't think it's going to be good as FNAF 2 or FNAF 1. I think I'm going to be putting it in B tier. So lower than both FNAF 1 and 2. Who knows? When it's done, it could be really good, but the fact that it's two maps put together, I don't think that's probably why it's not going to be as good. So that's why I'm going to be putting FNAF 3/4 in the B tier. Next is Slender. So this is another game that it's going to be a big dark oak forest. There's going to be some stuff in there, like a graveyard, a radio tower, a road with cars, and probably like a house and stuff, and maybe a few other things. And then you'll have to find 8 pieces of paper, so it's pretty much Slender the 8 pages. So it's like the FNAF games, but it's with 8 items you have to find, and in a forest instead. But I don't think it's going to be good as any of the FNAF maps because of how big and long it is, so I'm going to be putting Slender in the C tier. Next up is Bending the Ink Machine. So this is another one of those games where it's going to be you have to look around for the keys to escape. And because of the way I think the Bendy map is going to look, I don't think it's going to be very good. I think the way it's oriented also isn't going to be as good as the FNAF maps, but it could be okay. It's probably going to be around the same level as the FNAF 3/4 map. So I'm going to be putting the Bendy map in the C tier, along with the Slender map. Next up is the Poppy Playtime map, which I'm also going to be making in the in Mikigame. I think it's going to be better than Slender and Bendy Machine, but this is the one I'm most unsure about with how good it's going to be. So I'm going to put it in the B tier, along with FNAF 3/4. But it could be lower. I have a feeling that out of all the ones I've talked about so far, I think this could be the one that could be the worst, or could be just a lot lowered. We'll see, but we'll see when it's done. And this is also the one I've got the least plans for, but I'll think of something. So those are all the horror maps talked about. So basically, when all of these maps are finished, I'm going to be putting FNAF 1, 2, 3/4, Slender, Bending Machine, and Poppy Playtime. All of those are going to be one game in Mikigame called Horror Escape, but there will be like a bracket saying how it's all of these maps, so FNAF, Slender, Bending Machine, and Poppy Playtime. But just so it is because it's all pretty much one game, just different maps, except obviously Slender being 8 items instead of 3, but still, it's all going to be one game, just so you guys know for the future. Anyway, we're done talking about the horror games now. Now, let's talk about the walls. So this is going to be, I think I'm going to be building FNAF 3/4, and then I'm going to be building the walls. And I'm very, very excited to build the walls because I think, I might be wrong, but I think the walls is actually going to be an S tier game. I'm very, very excited for the walls. Basically, if you don't know how the walls works, I built it in Game Station before. It's 4 survival boxes, so 4 like mini survival world boxes. So like you got grass, water, trees, and then below you got stones, some ores and stuff. And you probably have 5 to 10 minutes where you have to basically play survival and get as best survival loot as you can. And then after that time is up, the walls are either burnt or they come down. And then you have to go to the different sites to kill the other teams. And I really think this is going to be a good game in Mikigame. I'm really, really excited for this. The biggest problem is going to be resetting it, but that's not really a problem in terms of the gameplay and stuff. But I think the walls is going to be very good, so that's why I'm putting it in S tier. But it could be lowered. We'll see when it comes out. Next up is Killing Spree. Yes, I am putting Killing Spree in Mikigame. So the way it works is, probably for 5 minutes I'm going to make it. I'm going to be building a new Killing Spree map. I don't know if it's going to be like a whole new map entirely, or it's just going to be the same as the original Killing Spree that I made. I am not remaking Champions Killing Spree. Don't worry. Yes, you probably have 5 minutes to get as many kills as possible. I think this game is going to be okay. I'm not sure if it's going to be too good. We will see. But for now, I'm going to put it in the C tier, because I'm not sure if it's going to be good or not very good. But we will see. But I think it will be a C tier anyway. Next up is Sky Wars. So we are building Sky Wars and Bed Wars in Mikigame. I think Sky Wars is going to be very good, and I think it's going to be very, very popular. So I'm going to put Sky Wars in the A tier. I think that is going to be a very, very good game. It's just probably going to play out as regular Sky Wars, like from the Hive and stuff. But next is Bed Wars. I'm worried about this because obviously, even though Bed Wars / Treasure Wars is a very, very good game, I'm not sure how it's going to be played out in Mikigame. Mike said that the Troller made one once that worked very well, but we will see. So I'm going to trust Mike, and for now I'm going to be putting Bed Wars in the B tier, lower than Sky Wars, because I've got way more hope for Sky Wars. But we will see. I'm going to be putting Bed Wars in B tier. I'm a bit worried for that, but we will see how that turns out. Obviously I'm excited for it. And let's talk about the final 5, starting with Boat Race 2. So it's not actually Boat Race 2. It's just Mike saying he might be building a second track for Boat Race, and I think I'm very, very excited for that. So I'm not going to put it in S tier. I'll put that in a high A, I'd say. Because even though the Boat Race and Boat Race Relay are in S tier because those tracks in the game is very good, we'll see how the second track turns out. It could even be better than the first one, and if so, that will obviously be put in S tier. But for now, I'll put it in a high A because I don't want too many games in S tier because the S tier is very special. But I think Boat Race 2 deserves to be in A tier because it hasn't come out yet, and I have no idea on how it's going to look and stuff. Next is TNT Sumo. So the way this will work is you'll have the you can place TNT and it'll be in peaceful mode where you don't get blown up by TNT, and if you're in the TNT you'll just get hit off the edge. I think this will be kind of cool, but at the same time I don't think it's going to be too good with how it works. So I'm going to be putting TNT Sumo in the C tier, but we'll see if that goes any higher or lower when that comes out. Minecraft quiz. I think this is going to be an interesting game. I'm not sure if it's going to be very good, but we will see. And I'm also intrigued on how it's going to work. But I think it's really cool how a quiz game is going to be being put into Mikigame. So I'll put it into B tier. So we'll see. If it works very well, I'll probably put it higher. But for now, I'm a bit worried, so I'll put it in the B tier. Next up is Capture the Flag. So, Capture the Flag is my favourite game in the Hive. And obviously it's not going to work the exact same as it can in Legacy because of the mods and stuff, but it'll probably just be you get like a banner or some wall or stuff, kind of like Capture the Tower, and then you take it to your team. So I think this game is going to be very, very good and probably very popular as well. We will see. We will, yeah, we'll see about that. But I think it'll be very good and very fun to play. And finally, Trident Race. Again, I think this is also going to be very good because of the Trident Race in Steven's TDMC. That is very good. But we will see how that goes in Mikigame. But I do think it'll be very fun. So that's why I'm going to put that in A tier. So, that is it, guys. We are finally done. So, here are all the games that we've... well, let's see what we've got in the F tier. So there were only 3 games in the F tier, which were Tree Party, Titanic War, and then there was the Bedrock Box map in the F tier. In the E tier, there was Clouds, Target Shot, Block Curling, Plays versus Entities, and Bathroom Room. I didn't mean to put that. That's meant to say Bathroom Fight, by the way. That's not. I don't know why I put Bathroom Room. In the D tier, I put Piggy Catching, Rage Parkour, Guess the Flag, The Maze, Boss Fight, Murder Mystery, Sonic PvP Kit, and the Maze, the map for it. In C tier, I put Battle of Mikigame, Anvil Drop, Campaign, Battle of the Sky, but with those two we'll see how they play out because they might be a lot higher or lower, we'll see because we haven't actually played them yet. And then Dropper, Hide and Seek, TNT, Hurdles, Naval Battle, Colour Party, Pac-Man, all on Mike the Archer, The Bridge, Bow Fight, Meme War, Nemo Slap, Castle and Mike Knight 21 logo were the 2 maps I put in C tier, and then Slender, Bendini Machine, Killing Spree, and TNT Sumo were the upcoming games, which I think will probably be C tier, but we'll see. All of the B tier games are Subo, TNT Dodge, Parkour, Stand First, Find the Treasure, Death Run, Hello Neighbor, Connect 4, Sumo, Free For All, Mob War. The maps were 2023 Lobby, FNAF 1 and Island, and then the upcoming games are FNAF 3/4, Poppy Playtime, Bed Wars, and Minecraft Quiz. The A tier games are Thunderdome, FNAF 1, Speed Parkour, Build Battle, and TNT Run. The A tier maps are FNAF 2 and Biomes, and the A tier upcoming games are Sky Wars, Boat Race Track 2, Capture the Flag, and Trident Race. And finally, the S tier games are FNAF 2, Boat Race, Dodgeball, and Boat Race Relay. And then the upcoming game for S tier is The Walls. So there we go! That is my tier list of Mikigame, the maps, the upcoming games, and all of the mini games, of course. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you subscribe to my channel, like this video, and also hit the bell to get notified whenever a new video stream is announced. Please let me know if you have any other ideas for ranking videos or tier list videos. I really, really love doing these things. I love a ranking so much, especially tier lists. So please let me know if you have any ideas for future ones. I might be doing a new battle mini game ranking video soon. We'll see. And also, please, for the love of God, join Mikigame. Play Mikigame. It is so much fun on Legacy. So please, friend Mike, Mike Knight 21, Mike Kenneth Mike 21. Join Mikigame, have fun, and it'll be so much fun for you, I promise. So that is it from me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.